We're now on Daf Nun Zayin Amid Beis, and the Gemara is going to tell us how many Jews were killed by Nebuzaradan at the time of the destruction of the first Beis Hamikdash, and this was all a punishment for the command that Yoash ben Yehuda gave to kill Zechariah ben Yoyada. Zechariah the Navi was also the Kohen, was killed in the Azara in the Beis Hamikdash because he gave Musa to the Jewish people who bowed down to Yoash and made Yoash into like a divine idol. All this is in Divrei Yomi Beis Perikov De. Omer Rav Chia bar Omer Rav Yeshua bar Korcha Sachli Zaket Echem Yad Yishalayim. I have a tradition from one of the elders of Yishalayim that Bibikazu, in this particular valley, Horag Nebuzaradan, Rav HaTabochim, Masayim v'Achasesrei Ribo. The Sar, the executor, under Nebuchadnezzar Melech Bavel, at time of Bais Rishon, called Nebuzaradan. He killed 2,110,000 Jews. Just on this Bika alone. Ubiyushalayim harag tishim v'arba ribo. 940,000 Jews. Al Even Achas. Achaholach domam, the blood of the people that were killed by Nebuzaradan went up and up and up on the Arbais until it reached the Azor, the Beis Hamikdash, v'noga, and the blood just stopped when it came in contact with Domo Shel Zechariah ben Yoyada Kohen, who was killed in the Azor. L'kayim asher nemar, pasuk in Hosea, and it says there, v'domim v'domim nogu. Ashkechai l'dmei d'Zechariah. Nebuzaradan saw the blood of Zechariah. Tavakomartich v'solik. It was boiling over and going higher and higher. Omar, Nebuzaradan asks the Jews who are alive, I don't know how many left, my high, what's the reason here? Why is this blood boiling? So the Jews didn't want to tell about that they killed Zechariah. They covered up. Amalei dam zvachim dishtapel. There was dam that was received in a mizrak after shchitas hakorban, and because of the destruction, they never would be able to make the mitzvah of zrik al gavi mizbeach. So the blood is boiling, and he didn't believe them. So what did Nebuzaradan do? I see dami. He brought the dam of behemos, veloi dam. And the dam of behemos was not similar to this dam, meaning it didn't respond in the same way. So Nebuzaradan understood that the Jews are telling a lie over here. Amalahu, Nebuzaradan says to the Jewish people, Yamrisuli mutav. You'll be okay if you tell me whose blood is boiling. V'lav, but if you don't, then masrekino l'psoraichu masreka deparzim. I will scrape your skin off your bodies with metal masrekos. Amri later, the Jews finally admitted the truth. My name alach. We can't tell you more than the truth. Shenovi hava bon. We had a novi in our midst. And he gave tochacha on in Yoni Shamayim. He rebuked us and chastised us. We got up and we killed him. And it's already years have passed, and his blood still doesn't settle down. Nebuzaradan says, I'm going to find a pious for the dam of Zechariah, some sort of revenge. I say he brought the Chachmei Sanhedrin Agdola and Chachmei Sanhedrin Aktana, Kotali Loye, and he killed them because of the dam of Zechariah Cohen. Velona. And yet the blood of Zechariah continued to boil. The Vuzaradin brings Bachurim Ubasulos, the Kotoliluye Lona. I see Tinoko Shabes Rava Kotoliluye Lona. Amalei, the Vuzaradin turns to the blood of Zechariah, Tovim Shemani Baditim. I've destroyed the best of the Jewish people. Nichalan, is it okay with you? Dabdinu Lakula, I will completely wipe off the last Jew. Amalei Hachi, when the blood of Zechariah heard this, Nach, it finally subsided. Vahi Shaita, Nebuchadnezzar was amazed at what he saw in front of his eyes. Here, Tshuva B'daita. Imagine the butcher of Israel probably killed as many Jews as Hitler. I don't know. You have to calculate all the numbers here. They're mind-boggling. But he does tshuva. If for the loss of one Jew, meaning Zechariah Novi Kach, this is the severe punishment that the Almighty wrought against the Jewish people, Ahu Gavra, that person, meaning the Vuzarad, the Kotel Karhani Nishmasa, I took the lives of so many people, Achas Kama V'Kama, what kind of onish will I suffer? Ora, he ran away, Ozel Shadar Shtar Pirtosa B'Veisei, and he sent to Shtar Tzava what the descendants should, his children, etc., the heir should do with his Nechos V'Gayer, and he was misguided. Now we know that throughout Jewish history, there are Jews who descended from the worst Rishonim who were misguided. Tanu, we looked at the price. Naaman, right? That's at the time of Ammon. He was the Sartzava. He accepted upon himself not to worship Avodah Zarah. Nebuchadnezzar, the Rav HaTabochim of Nebuchadnezzar Melech Bavel, Ger Tzedekah. And Mibnei Banav Shel Haman, Lamdu Torah B'Bnei Brak. Here we have a whole discussion here that goes on and on and on about Kabbalah's Gerim Mizera Molech. The Medrash says, Ein Makablim Gerim Mizera Molech. And there are many, many answers that are offered to this question. Some say that Gemara is against the Medrash, and you are allowed to be Makabel Gerim from Zera Molech, and that's what the Rambam says in Yisur Biyah. However, there are others who say that if the ger is misgayer me atzman, and as we're not going to be megayer them actively, and this has to do with the sugi in Sanhedrin about gerus in front of a bezdin of hidyotos, then ain't dochano, so we don't reject such a ger. Another answer is that the Bnei Barav of Haman did not identify themselves as Zera Molech, and therefore the gerus was done without knowing who they were. And b'di'evet, the gerus is chal. Others say that we're not makabel for gerim lisa bas Yisrael, aval mikol makom dinam kekol Yisrael, v'nosim noshim mibein atzmim. Another answer is given by Me'ene Kolcha. He says that after Sancheiriv came as a Val the Umos, now we can Makabel Ger for all Umos, and we go Basarov, and we assume it's not an Amolik. But in any event, B'nei Banav Shel Haman Lamdu Torah B'nei Brak. B'nei Banav Shel Sisra Limdu Tinokos B'Yushalayim. I guess there were Gerim amongst the descendants of Sisra. So a lot of literature here. We don't have time for this. The Bnei Banav Shel Sancheiriv Lamdu Torah Barab. Man Inu. Who are these Bnei Banav and Sancheiriv that taught Torah publicly? Shmaya Vavtali. Now Rabbi Akiva fits in here somewhere. I can't remember exactly where. Oh, maybe I found it. Yeah, Bnei Banav Shel Sisra Limdu Tinokas B'Yushalayim. He says here the name of Rabbi Nisan Gaon, that there was another girsa, and it says Man Inu. Who are these descendants of Sisra? Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva was b'nei banav shel Sisra because he was his ancestor was born from the relationship between Yael and Sisra. And the Gemara concludes with the story of the Domo Shel Zechariah by quoting a pasuk in Yechezkel, Hainu Dichsiv, Nasati es Doma al Tzchiach Sela Levilti Hikasos. The Kadosh Baruch Hu commanded the blood of Zechariah that it should remain on the karka and not be absorbed into the karka, and that would be malachema, the anger of Hashem, that he will remember linkom es nikmos. Hakol kol Yaakov yadayim yadei Esau. The Gemara darshans that Yitzchak Avinu saw in Nevuah the kol tzvacha, the kol bechi that eventually will be in Yaakov. Hakol ze kol atzavcha sheshmiu b'nei Yaakov b'yimei Adrianus Caesar Shahorag b'Alexandria shel Mitzrayim shishim riba el shishim riba. 1.2 million were killed. Kiflayim ki yotzei Mitzrayim. That's the kol. Now kol Yaakov zeh. This is the kol, the cry of the Jewish people of Bnei Yaakov at the time of Aspasionus Caesar. Shahorag b'krach Beisar arba meos riba. 4 million people were killed. The Amrila, others say arbas alofim riba. 40 million people were killed. Not 4 million, but 40 million. All of Bnei Yaakov. By Yadayim Yadei Esuv, Zu Malchus Harsha. This is the Roman Empire. They are the descendants of Esuv, Shechrias, Batenis, Arfasechalin, that's it. Dover Acher. Hakol Kol Yaakov She'en Lecha Tfila Shemo Eles Shemo Uraba Mikol Zaro Shel Yaakov. I don't know if you have any commentary here, but in my commentary, it says that the tefillah of the Kesar was accepted, and that's therefore Bar Jeroma was killed by a serpent. And this tefillah of the guy of the Kesar was accepted on high because of Ma'urav Ba Mitzaro Shel Yaakov. Vayadayim Yidei Esav she'ein lecha milchama shenot tzachas she'ein ba midei midi, or Yidei, I should say, Zaro Shalis. Now, the Beis Hamikdash, as we said earlier, in the story of Kamsa Bar Kamsa, was destroyed. Untold numbers of Jewish people were killed because of the Lashon Hara Bar Kamsa when he spoke against the Jewish people, that they were rising in rebellion against the king. Behind Udam Rab Loza Bishot Lashon Techave. Pasuk in Eo Perek Hey, and we're interpreting it Shebeshchirure Lashon. When there's Merivas HaLashon, there's a person sort of beats up his friend, not with a stick, but with his tongue, with his speech. Techave. At that point, you better hide because there's going to be a tremendous catastrophe. Om Rav Yudam Rav Maidich Siva Poskin Til Alaros Pavel Sham Yisham Gam Bachin Zacheres Tzia. Melamit Sherho HaKadosh Baruch Hu David. God showed David in Nevuah. Churban Bais Rishon v'Churban Bais Sheni. Churban Bais Rishon Shenemar Al Naros Bavel Sham Yisham Gam Bachin. So David sees in Ruach HaKodesh that Nebuchadnezzar is going to exile the Jewish people to Bavel and destroy the Beis Hamikdash. And by Sheni, where do we see that in the pasuk? The Ksiv Zechar Hashem Livnei Adam Es Yom Yushalayim Omrim Aru Aral Yisod Ba. And Bnei Adam is a reference to the Romans, and David saw in Ruach HaKodesh that Titus, who is of a descendant of Edom, is going to destroy Yerushalayim. And he prays that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should remember Edom and bring about a punishment to Edom. Rabbi Yudam Shmuel v'Tema, Rabbi Ami v'Amri La b'Maslim Sintana. Maise barbami os yolodim v'yolodo shenishbu l'kola. Irgishu v'yatzmon l'mayim misbaksh. Amru im anu tovim bayam anu boim will we come l'chayol mapa darish lehem agadol shebahem. And he answered with a pasuk in Tehillim, Amar Hashem mi bashan ashiv mi mitzulos yam mi bashan ashiv mi bein shinei aryeh ashiv mi mitzulos yam l'chayol mapa l'shetovim bayam l'kish Hashem. So these 400 girls and boys who were taken captive, and the girls were going to be abused as pilakshim, and then the boys would be abused for homosexuality, and they jumped into the river, into the sea. First, the girls jumped into the sea, and they knew that they would be zochel chayil mabah. Naflu tochayim. Nasu yiladim kal v'chom v'yatzma v'yom ma halalu shedarkam b'kach. It's not such an embarrassment if a woman is being used in that way. And nevertheless they would tovei es atzma al kid shem anu shein darkenu l'kach. And the cherpa of being used for mishkav zochar alachas kav v'kama avheim kovtzu tochayam alema kosav omer ki alecha horagnu kol hayom nechshavnu ketzon tivcha poskin til. Now this poskin tilim is the subject of the balance of this amud. Rabbi Yehuda Amar, what is this posuk referring to? So Isha means Chana. Shiva Banel. Aisyu lekami the kesar omule plach lavodas kochab omulahu kosu batorah anochi Hashem elokech avku v'kotlu aisu leidach lekami the kesar omule plach lavodas kochab omulahu kosu batorah lo yilach alehim achirim al panoi avku chotu aisu leidach. We're up to the third song. Omule plach lavodas kochab omulahu kosu batorah zovechol him yocharam. Afku v'kotlu. Aisuli, that they brought number 4. Amrulei plach lavodas kochab. Amar lehu ksuv batorah lo tishtach ve'le'el acher. Afku v'kotlu. Aisuli, that they brought the 5th son. Amrulei plach lavodas kochab lo kosu batorah shma Yisrael Shem Elokeinu Shem Echad. Afku v'kotlu. Aisuli idach. They brought the 6th son. Amrulei plach lavos komalu. Kosu batorah v'yadat Hashem v'shivos alevecha. Ki Hashem Elokim v'shamayim v'yamal. Ve'al ha'aretz mitoch haseino. Afku v'kotlu aisuli idach. Now they get to the 7th son of Chan. Amrulei plach lavos kocham. Amrulei kosu batorah Hashem emarta. Hashem emircha hayom. God accepted us as His Am Segula. And Kvar Nishbanu LaKadosh Baruch Hu She'einu Mavirim Oso Be'el Achim. Ve'afhu Nishbalonu She'ein Ma'avir Osonu Be'uma Acheres. So the Kesar apparently had a little bit of, I don't know, I'm not sure if it's compassion, but he thought maybe he could get this last child to bow down to the Avodah Zarah. And he offered him the following offer. Ishti loch gushpanka. I'm going to throw my seal in front of you on the ground. Ugachin v'shakli. All you have to do is bend down and pick it up. And it'll look like you bowed down to the idol. Yechi delemru kabel alayu harmona demalka. So the 7th son said, Chaval lecha Kesar, you're wasting your time. Chaval lecha Kesar, al kvoda atzmecha kach. You're so makpid and choshish for your own covet. Is al kvoda HaKadosh Baruch Hu alachs kam v'kam. You should have even more respect and honor for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. and you should have compassion on me, so not to be Machal Shmo. Afkula Miktale, they took him out and they killed him. Amalu Ime. So the mother said, Yavu and Nila Vanashke Purta. Give him to me so I can kiss him a little bit. Amrullah. Banai Lechuvim Avram Avichem. When you're up there in Shamayim, go tell Avram, Atah Kadata Mizbeach Echad. You had one son that you gave up. Ani Akadati Shiva Mizbechos. Now the next part of the Gemara is very unclear. It says, Afi also legag v'noflu mesa. So exactly what happened over here when it says also legag v'noflu umesa? So the Medrash Eicha says that she went crazy. She lost her brain and she jumped off the roof and committed suicide. However, the Matnas Kahuna says no. She did this with Das Slula. She was perfectly lucid. How would she be allowed to commit suicide? He quotes the Maral. Ratzu gam lachufa laoved avodah. They wanted to force her. That's like the story with the 400 children that jumped into the sea. Others say lo ibdas atzma mamish, and when it says also legag v'nofla pirusha sheskima lamos al kiddush Hashem. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi Amar Mila shenitna biyom shmini. The pasuk Alecha Ragnu Kol Yom is reference to Mila because in Mila, the 8th day of the child, is a very dangerous situation. Rav Shimon Lokesh Amar Elu Talmidei Chacham in the pasuk Alecha Ragnu Kol Yom is referring to the Talmidei Chacham Shemar B'mil V'Shchita V'Yatzmon. That when they want to teach the laws of Shchita, they use their own bodies. So Rava says that anyone could show himself in a certain way except for shchita. That's too dangerous. He might cut himself and also tzaras unegoyim. To show and put like a neg on your hand in order to don't do that. Rav Nachbar Yitzchak Omar Elu Talmidei Chachamim. What is this pasuk Yolecha Ragnu Kol Yom referring to? Talmidei Chacham Shememisa Matzol Divrei Torah Ki Rabbi Shimon Log Shemishim Log Ein Divrei Thomas Kaimel V'mi Shememis Atzmo Aleim Shenemar Zos HaTorah Odom Ki Yomis Ba'oel. The Torah is miskayemis when a person is willing to kill himself for the Torah and the Ol HaTorah. Amar Rabba Bar Chanam Rav Yochanan Arboim Sa. Okay, now we go back to Beisar again, and Mirz Hashem, I will continue with this tomorrow. And if I'm not mistaken, the Agadata ends here on Daf Nun Ches Amid Beis. And we go back to Sik Rikon. Okay, I hope you have good dreams tonight. I don't know if I will, but have a great day.